Well, the search continues for the suspect who pushed a man onto the subway tracks on Friday afternoon in Brooklyn.
Subway safety certainly been on everybody's mind because of the recent string of violent attacks underground, and that's just one of the topics that we'll be tackling this morning with Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso. So good morning to you, Mr. Reynoso. Welcome back. Good to see you.
Nice to see you, too. I hope you guys are doing all right.
We're doing okay. So we're continuing our round robin, talking to all of the borough presidents on Monday morning. So you are next in line. Brooklyn, obviously, the center of a lot of attention, right? Subway safety,
Yes.
a hot topic, as you know, right now. You've been riding the subway since you grew up in Brooklyn. What do you think, when you look at the state of the subways, is going right and what is going wrong?
It's hard to say that too much is going right at this moment. Ridership is still very low because of the increase in crime. It seems to be a problem that might persist. But I think what's going wrong is that people are perceiving the increase in crime, or they're attributing the increase in crime. What I think is to folks that have homelessness issues and mental health issues that are not necessarily committing any crimes, but that make you feel uneasy when you're in the train. And then in those occasions, incidents will happen, and you can't help but feel uneasy when you see folks that might need help or assistance on the train, and then it heightens your fear, and then makes it so that this idea that what you're feeling is real, that you are unsafe, or your perception of that feeling is real, that you're unsafe. But at the end of it, it's still mostly a very safe subway, a safe city. But again, we have a lot of work to do when it comes to bringing down that perception, and I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah. So what do you think then of Governor Hochul and Mayor Adams' new plan, their subway safety plan, more aggressive policing, putting more cops in the subway system? Do you think that that's the answer? Part of the answer, at least?
I don't think so. I don't think it's the answer at all. An increased presence of cops or police presence is never the answer. The safest neighborhoods in our city are the ones with the least amount of cops. But what they have is secure housing, they have secure education or high education, the jobs, the parks, and so forth. So we should be looking at those symptoms. If we remove the folks that have mental health issues from the subway system and put them into care and assistance, I think a lot of folks will feel much better and safer.
Okay, so, I'm listening to you talk about the perception. This has been obviously a big thing with the mayor calling perception versus reality. When you look at the numbers of subway crime, the numbers are up. So that's just reality. And you're talking about the mental health issues, but I feel like it is something we've talked about for over a year now, right? We know mental health issues are plaguing the city, specifically underground. So what can be done? What can your office do to help?
The mental health issues are real, and I want to be perfectly honest. This is something that the mayor has to take on. The amount of resources that they're putting into police officers versus putting into mental health advisors or mental health assistants or to hospitals that can care for the folks with mental health is not happening. It's just not equal. But when you talk about the increase in crime and that it is more dangerous, then we need to respond to your perception of what you feel or you're feeling, and in doing so, we put more cops in the subway versus taking care of the issue that I think is actually important. When you look at the numbers as well, when you look at data, the amount of crime happening on the subway compared to the amount of people that are in the city of New York, it makes it so that it's one of the, if not the safest big city in all of America. But you don't feel safe is because on top of the crimes that you get to see on Twitter or that you get to see every day on TV, you get uneasy because of the perception of crime, which comes from the homelessness and the mental health issues that folks are having on the train.
So clearly you're saying that mental health is at the root of a lot of the issues that we're seeing as far as subway safety and safety in general. Now, you took the unprecedented move of dedicating your $45 million fiscal budget for the upcoming year to improving public hospitals in Brooklyn. Does that include help for mental health?
Absolutely, and that's the point. I want to make sure that folks know that we're not just talking about it without solutions. We've put in all of our money. Every single dollar that I get from this office in capital dollars has gone to the 3 public hospitals in Brooklyn, in Woodhull Hospital, Coney Island Hospital, and Kings County Hospital, to address the issue of maternal mortality. Black women die at 9.5 times the rate as their white counterparts during childbirth, and I wanted to end that. And we're not going to do that incrementally, which is how we address most of these issues in the city of New York. What we need to do is infuse it with resources in an effort to see those numbers go down. And in that, there's postpartum work that is coming for women that have babies, so that we can start addressing the high
Yeah.
rates of maternal mortality.
Yeah, it's a really important thing that you are doing there. And you know, from affordable healthcare to affordable housing, that's another hot button issue. The average rent in Brooklyn over $3,000. Come on, which is a far cry from what some longtime residents can actually afford. You, sir, grew up in Williamsburg, right, where many residents have actually been priced out of those apartments. Same happening in areas like Bushwick and Bed-Stuy. So what can be done to protect longtime Brooklynites from being forced out of the places they want to live?
It's about building everywhere. The problem that we have is that there's a lot of folks that want to live in New York. And again, the increase in population that we've seen in Brooklyn is the highest of any borough in this city. But we're not building to meet that demand. And this is not just about supply and demand, which is an issue. It's also about where we build. Since 1964, 1969, there's a line, let's say Atlantic Avenue South, has almost no affordable housing in this city. So what we need to start doing is asking everyone to contribute to the greater good. And that helps with gentrification, because then people come here, they have money, they don't move into the places and start displacing people. They go to the places that are available to them.
Yeah.
But because we don't have a great housing supply, and all of the housing that is built almost exclusively in Black and brown poor neighborhoods, what ends up happening is that we have this gentrification.
Yeah.
So I'm asking people in the South and Central Brooklyn, I'm going to be asking them to build more affordable housing, that they can't be excused from the greater good.
Yeah, well, there's so much more we would love to talk to you about. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. Brooklyn Borough President, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Can I sneak in? What is the stuffed animal thing behind you?
That's my son's bear.
Oh,
This is my office is my son's room. So you can only imagine. You got to make do. You have to make do.
I love it.
That's so great. All right, thanks for being with us. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Take
you.
care.